going to bring you into my little conversation this morning with questions and answers and raising of hands. Hopefully it'll make it better for you. Okay, who's, with the raised hands, it's male in this class. Raise your hands if you're male. Who's, okay, now, who's female? Who's transgender?
What does that mean?
Transgender is the same terminology as transsexual, but it is a newer, more modern version of the word transsexual. Transsexual was a scientific name bestowed upon people who were different. I was born transgender, meaning my mind and my body did not match. Most of you, when you're born, you go, I'm a little boy, I'm a little girl, I'm happy with who I am. And some children say, Mommy, I don't want to wear a dress. I want to be a boy. And they become a tomboy. Some little boys will say, Mommy, I don't want to wear pants. I want to wear a dress. They go, oh, you're weird. But when I grew up, I say to my best friend, I want to be a girl. How can you tell somebody that? People bring upon us exactly what we are by the minute we're born. Oh my God, there's a third leg, it's a boy. Or if you're a girl, everyone's like, oh great, another daughter, I can't afford her. But when you don't know what you are and you're 4 or 5 years old, you sort of go with the flow of things. Parents force you into, you're going to be this cute dress, you're going to wear this pair of pants, you're going to dress up like Buster Brown or something. And next thing you know, you're falling into a role, and you don't want to rock the boat by asking that stupid question. Who am I? And that's where I was. 5 or 6 years old, I knew I was different. But going back in the 50s and 60s and 70s, you didn't open your mouth. Because you heard people around saying, oh, there's male and there's female. There is no blend, there is no in between. Wrong. 1 in 2,000 people born is transgender. And right now, I asked you both, raise your hands of male or female. But when transgender comes along, nobody raises their hand. Not out in public, not out in Congress, not out in the workforce. Why? Because if you raise your hand, the world will look down upon you. Because they don't understand what transgender is. Someone here asked, what is transgender? I was born knowing in my mind I should have been born female. There is a certain thing which goes on during a pregnancy which determines whether you're not going to be male or female. We all start out female. And due to a hormonal push, there's this little rise up. As you end up over that hump, you fall into becoming male. But what if the hormonal push isn't enough and you start going up that sliding scale and you slide back down? Well, now you're female with maybe some male characteristics. Or you go slightly over the top and you start going towards male, but you stop. You don't go all the way into it. Now you're maybe a feminine working man. Slighter build. That's a sliding scale that you don't have any control over. What affects it? Nobody knows. But what we do know is some people are caught at the top. I know I was born male, but I really wanted to be female my entire life. I couldn't tell people around me, I couldn't tell the women I dated. I was heterosexual, or so I thought. I always got along great with everyone in school, but every girl I dated also said, there's something different about you. What is it? It might sound, well, gee, I love what you're wearing. I wish I was wearing it too. Now, when it comes to being transgender or transsexual, many people hear that word transsexual. The first thing they think of is, oh, I saw one of those in that movie.
Mr. Greg Marcel, will you please call the registrar at 4065? Mr. Greg Marcel, please call the registrar at 4065. Thank you.
Oh yeah, that person was dressed up as a woman to murder that person in that other movie. Oh, I've heard about this, I've heard about that. Oh, they're walking the streets down in Boulevard. That's a small percentage of people working in the maybe porno industry or working the streets. But then there's doctors, lawyers, policemen, firemen, your next door neighbor, your brother, your cousin. who could be transgender, but they're not going to raise their hand. They're not going to step out in the public and go, oh look, I'm transgender, because they're afraid of losing their family, who won't understand, their friends, who won't understand, their employment, because their employer doesn't understand. But there are a few of us who stand out, and this is where Stonewall comes in. Being the Transgender Outreach Director, I'm not afraid to walk out and say, I'm transgender. Now, I went through most of my life, though, hiding who and what I was.
When did you come out or say?
I was 21 years old, living in Los Angeles. Went to a party in the Hollywood Hills for a very good friend of mine. He knew that I was transgender. I went as Karen. And this girl walked up and said, excuse me, are you male? I said, yes. Are you female? And yeah, I said, okay, got that out of the way. I explained to her who and what I was. And we got to talk, I was in the kitchen cooking and getting stuff ready for the party. And we just kept talking. And we were talking as two people, not as aliens or people against each other. She really got into the fact that I was being out of the box, doing something different. So next thing you know, her boyfriend came over and went, let's blow this place, man, it's really boring. So she put a note in my hand, said, call me in 20 minutes. We were together for 23 years. We have two children, Casey and Corey. Casey's 21, Corey's 19, and they go to UNLV. They know all about me. And they say, cool. But I didn't want to tell them either until I felt it was a time that they could be comfortable with what I was doing. I said, well, wait till I get out of high school. I'll wait till I get older and then let them understand what's going on. By accident, they found out. By accident, they went, yeah, so I was always fearful of losing my family, my friends, my children. Someone saying, you're a pervert, you're a deviant, you're a pedophile, you're a rapist. This is where they categorize transgender people. Why? Because they are afraid, because they don't know. Fear is our greatest problem. When you don't know about something, you tend to invent things or you assume things. Years and years ago, there was lightning in the sky. There was rain, there was sun, there was wind. So what they do, they invented gods. The god of thunder, the god of lightning, the god of the sea. There was a reason for people to understand why it was there. Why am I? People don't understand what is this third sex, transgender. And it's not just male to female, it's female to male. Now when the woman decides, I'm transgender, she takes hormones, testosterone, to become a male. Beard growth develops, muscles develop, and nobody knows anything about it because next thing you know, oh, that person over there with the beard, that's just some guy. What about a guy that wants to be a female now? I have to put on a costume. You're not wearing a costume, are you? Okay. But if I walked out of the house with breasts and no makeup, why has that guy got breasts? Society looks at me very differently than anybody else in the world. We've been misunderstood for generations. We are in every single country. There are no boundaries. Every single religion. We've been here forever, but hidden. And society and sometimes has revered us to be like a holy person. American Indians thought us to be like a medicine person, a gift. Other people have decided that we were evil and we were killed. So who's going to raise their hand and say they're transgender and want to be killed? It keeps going on and on and on. And what Stonewall has done, Stonewall is out for equality for everybody, but especially the LGBTQ community. They're looking to have laws passed. Every day when you get up in the morning, politics has a little bit to do with your life. Look around the room. All these politicians up on the wall. The reason why you're in the bed you're in the morning is because politics has allowed you to live in the neighborhood. The reason why you're here is because politics has allowed you to have a school to go to. Politics dictates to you almost every single thing about your life. Can you get married? Can you get married to another woman in this state? No. Can you have health care? I can't. I'm transgender. Healthcare companies will not accept me. Who lives in a house here or apartment? I can't. If my landlord or my owner finds out that I'm transgender, they have the right to kick me out immediately. We have no rights whatsoever. Even though I'm born in America, I'm a U.S. citizen, I have no rights. I say, look, all I want are the same rights as everyone else. And they say, no, because you're transgender. The employer comes up and finds out I'm transgender. What happens? You're fired. No rights. Yes.
If you're filling out an application, job application, whatever, and you have to choose male or female, first question, what do you put?
I'll get that in just a second.
Okay.
So anyhow, Stonewall is looking out for the LGBT community on the Democrat side. There are other organizations like Log Cabin Republicans and Human Rights Campaign. All these people are trying to help the LGBT community along with the rest of the community too. We must ensure that there are equal rights for every American. Race, creed, color, and gender identity. When I come up to sit there and get a job, it's very difficult. Who's going to hire me? They're going to say, well, your guy dresses a woman. So what do I have to do? I built, in this town, 13 schools. I didn't build it as Karen, I built them as Kevin. I've been in the construction industry here. I built schools, hotels, casinos, private homes.
We call her Tool Time Barbie.
I've been a project superintendent on Clark County School District jobs for over 13 years. But they never knew about Karen until 2 years ago. When they found out, I was dismissed. Right to hire, right to fire state. I never did anything wrong. I had 95% completion rate on all of my projects on time. But I'm transgender, and the person that was above me felt, bye. I go to apply for a job, I don't go as Karen, I go as Kevin. My driver's license says male. But one of the things that I was involved with in this state is getting the gender marker IDs on driver's licenses changed for people who are living as transgender, be it male or female. When they go to get a job, someone walks up to them, oh, we're so happy you've come to us. We love your resume, we love how your attitude, we want to hire you.